Hello, everyone. Welcome to Inside Talk Show. I'm Carla Elizondo. Welcome. We are continuing. Happy Wednesday. We are on chapter 10, Creation. And of course, we are reading Neville Goddard's The Power of Awareness. Chapter 10, Creation. Let's jump right in. Make sure. There we go. Okay. Creation. I am God, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times things that are not yet done. Creation is finished. Creativeness is only a deeper receptiveness for the entire contents of all time and all space, while experienced in a time sequence actually coexist in an infinite and eternal now. Woof, that's a lot, right? In other words, all that you ever have been or will be, in fact, all that mankind ever was or ever will be exists now. This is what is meant by creation. And the statement that creation is finished means nothing is ever to be created. It is only to be manifested. Let me stop right there. That can be a mind twist. And you can be like, Carla, what are you reading, girl? Get it together. Well, I am going to get it together. Here we go. So, creation is finished. What does that mean? Everything exists right now. There is nothing new under the sun. There is no new element. There is no new particle that hasn't existed. When we create something, it's always been here. We just arranged it in a way through our thoughts and through our imagination. Where's my example? You know what I'm going to say, people. Where's my phone? This beautiful iPhone, this beautiful cell phone. Thank you, Apple. Thank you, Steve Jobs. This cell phone has always existed. This has always been here. Every part of this iPhone. Do you see what I'm saying? The plastic, the glass, the pieces of metal, every single fiber that makes the iPhone has always existed from the beginning of time, since the Big Bang. It just took the imagination and creative thought of the team at Apple, Steve Jobs, etc., to compose and compile and manipulate all of the material that has always been on the earth to create this phone. Jesus could have had an iPhone if Steve Jobs existed 2,000 years ago. Isn't that fascinating? So the iPhone always existed. It just was not manifest in this world. Let's proceed. So this is what is meant by creation. And the statement that creation is finished means nothing is ever to be created. It is only to be manifested. What is called creativeness is only becoming aware of what already is. You simply become aware of increasing portions of that which already exists. The fact that you can never be anything that you are not already, or experiencing anything not already existing, explains the experience of having an acute feeling of having heard before what is being said, or having met before the person being met for the first time, or having seen before a place or thing being seen for the first time. It's like deja vu. So the fact that you can never be anything that you are not already, the fact that you can never be anything that you are not already, or experience anything not already existing, that explains the experience of having that really weird feeling of deja vu. So when you hear something you've never heard before, this is an example. You know, when you read a good book or you listen to a good podcast, or maybe hopefully something I say, you're like, wow, I know that to be true. It's called resonance. It resonates with something inside of you. What I say, what someone else says, what you hear resonates. It's familiar, yet you've never heard it before because it's always existed. It's a truth that you know to be true, but you're hearing it for the first time. But really, it's always existed within you. That's what being in resonance with something. I resonate. You're like, wow, that's hitting something. Like it's hitting home. I knew that, but yet I had never heard it before. I'm meeting that person for the first time, but my goodness, I know them. I feel like I've known them forever. When you go to a place or when you've signed up for a class or you've done something, you're like, oh, this is home. This is what I want to do. This is, oh, in my head, I've been here a million times, but it's the first time you're on stage or have done something. So the whole of creation exists in you, and it is your destiny to become increasingly aware of its infinite wonders and to experience even greater and grander portions of it. If creation is finished and all events are taking place now, the question that springs naturally to mind is, what determines your time track? That is, what determines the events which you encounter? And the answer is your concept of yourself. Concepts determine the route that attention flows. Here is a good test to prove this fact. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and observe the route that your attention follows. You will observe that as long as you remain faithful to your assumption, so long will your attention be confronted with images clearly related to that assumption. For example, if you assume that you have a wonderful business, you will notice how your imagination, your attention is focused on incident after incident relating to that assumption. Friends congratulate you, tell you how lucky you are. Others are envious and critical. From there, your attention goes to larger offices, bigger bank balances, and many other similarly related events. Persistence in this assumption will result in actually experiencing, in fact, that which you assume. The same is true regarding any concept. If your concept of yourself is that you are a failure, you would encounter in your imagination a whole series of incidences in conformance to that concept. Thus, it is clearly seen how you, by your concept of yourself, determine your present, that is, the particular portion of creation which you now experience. And your future, that is, the particular portion of creation which you will experience. All right, this is a short, concise chapter, but it really just talks about anything on this planet in solid form. Or, a book, a movie, an idea, anything, any creation, right? Because things that are created can not be tangible, creative ideas. But if persisted in, really just focusing on it, it says, you will observe that as long as you remain faithful to your assumption, so long will your attention be confronted with images clearly related. So like our brain, we're a massive computer. We're a supercomputer. We have a Google search engine. Our thoughts is what we type in. So whatever you're thinking, you are typing into the Google search engine, and it within milliseconds will fetch all the images, all the videos, all the articles, everything that proves, complements, confirms that Google search. It can't be any other way. Try it. Go into Google on your phone or your computer and type in tamales. You will get every video, every image, every article, every website about tamales. It will fetch within milliseconds millions of pieces and scraps of evidence and of information to support what you just typed into the Google, every tamale bit of information. That's great if I want tamales. But what if I want burgers? If I typed in tamales, I am not going to get anything on burgers. In our mind, if I've been, laughing with my friends. I'm like, what's an outrageous goal? I want to be in a Marvel movie. Like, I want to be, or a TV show. I don't care. I want to be in that Marvel universe. How the hell? I don't care how it's going to happen. That's what I want. So I'm only focusing on Marvel. the casting directors, the people that work in it, any actor, any friend, any producer, anybody who is in any degree to me, I'm just going to focus on that. Put that in my Google search engine. What am I going to get returned? I'm going to start seeing things, friends, and it's already happened, by the way. It's already starting to happen. But if I, like I was a month ago, girl, dream on. How is that ever going to happen? I was blind. So I was focused on, I don't know what I was putting in the search engine, but it wasn't Marvel Universe. So I wasn't getting Marvel Universe. But if I type in and I focus, I will get all the videos, all the people that are involved, all the images, all the articles, all the notices, castings, new information, casting directors, all the events, mixers. That's what I'll get in return. I know I hope that example made sense, but creation is finished. Everything on this earth. There's nothing new going to be added. There's no new ingredient. The pantry doors are shut. There's no aliens, as far as we know, or anybody off planet that's delivering new ideas or new minerals to the earth. We have gold, iron, silver. We have these elements, certain proteins that are on this planet Earth. It's all we got. Nothing new. Like they say, nothing new under the sun. When people have creative ideas, it's not new. Anybody who teaches anything, who writes anything, a movie, an idea, it's not original. And I know that can be weird. It's like and that's when people get into trouble, when they think they're this creative genius. It's like, I'm sure it existed somewhere in this earth before. Things get recycled. Fashion, music. We have a universal consciousness, like Carl Jung. We have a collective consciousness. And I'm sure you've seen it. If you had an idea and maybe a year you didn't act on it, and then a year later someone else, you're like, damn it, I had that idea. Because ideas are always floating through all of our minds. We are just antenna. We're just satellite receptacle. That's why we have to pay attention to our inclinations, our thoughts, those dreams that come, because if you don't take hold of them, it's going to find another vessel that it can go through. We're just vessels. We don't create anything. We let creation flow through us. And I think that's why a lot of us get burnt out or get stressed out or anxious or depressed, because we feel this weight of the world that we're the ones that have to come up with this idea and create, and who are we? And we compare ourselves to all these brilliant people that create these things. No, they're just brilliant people who surrender and allow creation to flow through them. We are the faucet. We are not the water. We are the lamp. We are not the light. Let the light flow through your lamp. And first of all, you got to get plugged in. That's why it's so important to ground yourself daily. Plug in the lamp and then screw in the light bulb. Let it come through you. And that means that you can be an infinite channel. You see some of those people who have like just one hit wonders or one big project and then they just fall apart. Like, how am I ever going to live up to that? Because they think that they're the ones doing it. That's a heavy load to carry. It's not ours to carry. It's just passing through us. We're just a vessel. And just remember that. I always need that refresher, that reminder. So creation is finished. What is called creativeness is only becoming aware of what already is. Everything you want, every desire, anything that's coming into your awareness, it exists. If you can see it, if you can imagine it, it actually already exists, or you would not have been able to imagine it or think of it. It's just, do you have the guts, the patience, the persistence, the stamina to bring it to life, to birth it? It's great to have these ideas. It's wonderful, right? If we talk about reproduction, it's great to have sex, right? It's wonderful. But would you say the same thing as you're pushing a baby out? No. We have to go through the birthing pains. We have to hold it. It's that gestation period. It's not a cute process. People just like the cute part. But when the rubber, really meets the road, that's when people drop out, myself included. But I am really strengthening the muscle to stick with it, remain faithful to my assumption, remain faithful, keep my attention on the images, and it will come to pass. Persistence in this assumption will result in actually experiencing it. It's inevitable. Anyways, that was a really great chapter. I love it. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, I am here Monday through Friday at 11 a.m., give or take a couple of minutes. I hope that was food for thought. Take it on your Wednesday throughout your week. Think about anything that you want to create. What do you want in your life? It already exists. Like Einstein said, time and space are an illusion. What you want already exists. It's up to you to keep your mind focused on it and think of reasons how it can happen, only on how. Whenever we had a really good study group this morning, any time your brain tells you or gives you a reason, which is valid and it might be true, of why you can't, of how you're not ready, of how it won't work, next, don't entertain it. Because it'll just like the Google search engine, it'll just keep giving you more returns and more information on how and why you can't. And it's going to be right. Only put how you can, ideas of how you can. Only think and focus on how you can and what you want. With that, have a wonderful day. I will see you all tomorrow.